Hello and welcome back. Today we'll be running through strokes and different ways that you can use them. So here we have my preset background. Took about 2 seconds to make. So we'll start you off with very basic, how to get a stroke into an image using a different layer. So what I've done is I've created a new layer down here in the bottom right. So right here, click new layer. And what you do is you fill it using the bucket tool right here. On the left side you can see where my mouse is. Fill it with any color, doesn't really matter, really is not important here. Go over to where it says fill opacity in the bottom right and set it to 0%. Right click on your layer, the one that you just finished filling, and changing the opacity to 0. It has to be fill opacity, not opacity. Go down to stroke and go inside, and now you have your stroke on your inside here. You can set it to any dimension you want. So that's very basic, very easy. Set the colors right here, doesn't really matter what color you pick, it's all up to you, whatever you're doing. Other settings you can use is if I just change it to 3 here and I change it down to say soft light, see it gives off that glassy effect on the outside there. You can also, using that to add a little bit more effect, is go with an inner glow, change it to say black, normal, 75%, change the size a little bit, and you start to get this more topped off effect, which really does add quite a spiffy look to it. You can change it to white if you want to. I personally think black looks pretty nice. So other ways of doing strokes, and you can create some really nice borders using this. Say I leave this at 3, I then duplicate the layer, go to blending options with the new layer, change the stroke down to 2 and change it back to normal. And now you get that little glass effect just outside of it. You can also change it down to 1, so that way you got the black on the outside with the glassy effect on the inside. Other ways of doing this, I'll just delete the layers real quickly. So once again, fill the layer, blending options, change the fill opacity to 0%, add in a stroke. Let's say for this one I'm going to make it 4 seems right. Duplicate the layer again, blending options. You can duplicate it twice here with what I'm doing. Change it to 3, change the color to say a whitish color, and once again duplicate the layer and change the stroke down to a 1 and black. As you can see, it adds a little bit more diversity to your border, not just being the plain old black, plain old white, or even glassy effect. So just change that to a 3, and now you've got that. So you could go back to your original layer here and once again add that inner glow if you wanted to. It's all about experimentation. Just by screwing around with the settings and seeing what you can come up with, you can really turn a basic image into something a little bit more prettier. There are other options you can use with your layers here, with your strokes. Get rid of the inner glow here. You can change it to gradients as well. This can all be like set up any way you want it. Reflected. Reflected's a really nice effect. I like that one. You can change the scale here. So say you want it more spread out, and just giving it a say lighter grey. So you can change all the effects right here. You can also once again change all the effects. You can reverse it if you want to. You can even move it around by just clicking align with layer, unticking it, and then just dragging it by clicking on the image here, and then you can drag it up or any way you want. So to align with layer, it just moves it so that it stays within the layer. Otherwise, if you untick align with layer, you can just drag it any way you want, and that becomes very clear using radial. So you've got also patterns here, so like with my other tutorial with the patterns here, you can use the your scan lines here. I haven't really found a very useful effect for it. That's just me personally. I'm sure you guys can probably find a use for this. There are other ones, you know, you can use all your other patterns here and whatnot. Personally, I don't see the point in it. Can affect it so that it's, you know, say soft light and all that, and just adds a little bit more character to your borders. So that's basically all of the basics for strokes. Most strokes, you know, it can work for other shapes as well. I mean, there are centered effects and you know, there's outside centered, and centered just basically it takes the very center, like it centers itself out. So say there's an invisible like border around your shape, like the outside of your shape. So you've got the inside, so it'll be on the inside borders of your shape, and then you got the outside, so it'll sit on the outside, and center will sit comfortably in between. And sometimes this doesn't work. Like centered just sometimes does not come up to be a very good quality. Like as you can see here, if I get rid of the inner glow, you can see there's on the edges here, there's a little bit of a gap where it's trying to stay within the center, and you know, it's just not connecting properly. With inside, they should connect perfectly, and as you can see, it comes out solid black, and same with that. But when you go for centered, it stretches itself out to make sure that it sits comfortably in between the border. So personally, I don't use centered too often. So yeah, soft light and overlay and saturation, all those sort of things, you can just use these effects are here and can be used on any layer, and I really do suggest using them. They can be found right here by just clicking over here. They're very useful and can create some really nice effects. So that covers today's basic stroke tutorial. If there is anything I've missed out, be sure to comment, or yeah, just let me know if I've missed anything or if you need anything further explained. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.